good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, my strong and beautiful parentless tribe. Welcome back to my channel and another great video with me, Shelby J, also known as the Motherless Millennial. Sometimes I feel like depression is the magnified emotion when it comes to grief that a lot of the help is focused on, a lot of the talk and conversation is focused around, but what about being mad? What about being angry? This week, we're talking about getting stuck in the anger phase of grief. How I was in that limbo for a while. And more importantly, talking about how I got out of it. So let's go ahead and jump right in. For context, because I'm not going to assume that everybody knows what the 5 primary stages of grief are. First stage, denial. Can't believe it's happened to you. You won't accept that it's happened to you. Everything's confusing. Second stage, anger, what we're talking about today. Obviously, you are mad AF that this has happened to you, your life has been turned upside down. Third stage is bargaining, often involves pleading with a higher power. If they change this situation, you'll be a better person. If they save this person, you'll do this. Fourth stage is depression, what we hear about and a lot of help is revolved around. You're really sad, the reality of what has happened to you is setting in. And the fifth and final stage is acceptance. You've accepted that this has happened to you. You are taking your actual reality into account. Doesn't mean you're actually healed, but you're no longer in denial. Like I said earlier, I feel like anger sometimes gets skipped over a little bit, and a lot of the help and talk revolves around the depression stage of grief. But what I got sideswiped by was being angry for much, much longer than I thought I was going to be before I even got to that stage. And so I think more emphasis needs to be put on it, or some more help needs to be focused on it or something, because anger can make or break your grief journey just as much as depression and sadness. Before I go any further, let me first just say, get angry. Okay, losing parents, especially when we're younger, and especially sometimes abruptly, turns your life upside down and can seem hella unfair. So be mad, get mad, don't feel weird about it. You are well within your rights. However, it is just as important as we allow ourselves to be angry to also check the anger when we can and work through it, especially when it starts to get out of hand. So let me share my experience. And you know what that means? Story time. The first example is right after my mom died. And I feel like I was extra mean because I was so mad after her. Maybe because that was my first parent, I'm not sure. But probably when my dad started dating women after my mom died, and it wasn't even that long. He knew I was gonna be mad. Anyway, yes, when my dad started dating women, I was not a little angel. And I usually was, when I was younger, but he'd come, over with them and, oh, it's so much about you. Frank has told me how blah, blah. And I would just be like, lady, get out my house. I wouldn't say that, but that was how I would look, I'm sure you have heard about me, like just rude to them and, not really being super polite and bubbly. And they didn't ask for this. My dad, I'm sure pursued them and, brought them over our house. And I was just rude. I was rude to them and would barely even look them in the eye. They'd be like, oh, you're so pretty and this and that, how smart you are, and I'd be like, that's great. Like barely even say anything. And then when they're done, and I'd be like, can I go back to my room now? I would just turn around and walk away. And the second instance after my mom died, my dad rented out a room. My brother was old enough, maybe he was 19 or something, so he had moved out with some friends, I think. And so we had an empty room and my dad was renting it out. And I was a gremlin to that dude. Like, I'm even thinking about it now, I'm like, girl, that was real rude. And I would just roll my eyes at him. He'd ask, Shelby, where's this? He tried to find something in the house and I'd be like, I don't know, go ask my daddy. Or, he would just try to make decent conversation with me in the morning and I would just ignore him, don't say nothing to him, nothing. Roll my eyes. I was really, really a little gremlin to that man. And I think one day he ended up calling me out about it, and my dad had to come talk to me about how I was acting. But I was just mad as hell. I really was. And the second case is after my dad passed. I was really cold towards Elon, who is my now husband. I think I've said that a couple of times in other videos. I've never said his name, but his name's Elon. But yeah, I was really cold towards him. Maybe slightly less mean, but definitely cold to him in our sort of early stages of sort of talking and all of those good things. He stayed, so I guess I was worth it. But yeah, I was just super cold towards him, very wishy-washy, and I was just mad, you know. And I think I was more of a brooding mad this time around, because it was just like, really, my second parent? Come on, man. You know, and and maybe it was also had something to do with men too, because I had lost my dad, and I was just like, you know, I don't know, and you know, just not being super straightforward with him and all of these things, just really being cold towards him. And in either situation, you know, now I wish that wasn't how it was, but you know, that's 2.5, 3 years of anger. You know, that was much longer than I thought it was gonna be. And so those are two separate instances where I just really remember being the opposite of really who I am, which is this just rude, mean, cold person. So why was I so flipping mad? Probably some of the same reasons you are or were. One reason, general frustration and confusion. We can't make sense of it all, you know? And I guess that's a general sort of situation that anger comes out of. You know, if you're trying to figure out how to put something together and you've tried every which way, you've looked at the directions and it's just not making sense, you just get angry. And so general just frustration and confusion, right? Especially in the early stages, it just makes you angry. Frustrated because now I had to live the rest of my life without my parents and everything that came along with them. And confused because, like most grief, it can be so annoying and hard to put a why me, why my life, you know, to the situation. And then nobody has the answers. And so you just get mad. Another reason is that life got significantly harder overnight. And I just felt like it shouldn't have been that way. You know, I was a teenager. I should have been having a ball, growing gracefully into adulthood and enjoying youth. But all that was stripped away in a blink of an eye. And it all just seemed so unfair, and it made me mad as hell. Also, for a long time, it just felt like nobody could relate and everybody just seemed fake because nobody knew what it was like to be me in that situation. And I was angry and frustrated that I always had to explain myself or repeat myself why I couldn't do X, Y, and Z things because my parents had died. You know, I was mad because in a world where I once felt like I had a place, no longer had a place for me. But now I know, and more importantly, now you know that that is absolutely not true because there are people like me and platforms like mine. You can always come here. So moving on to getting out and over the anger, here's what I told myself and here's what I thought about. So first I realized I was hurting people, and that is just not who I was. And more importantly, wasn't anyone that I wanted to become, especially people where I know they really were only trying to help me and be there for me. They didn't deserve that. Misplaced anger is real. Don't do it. Secondly, being angry was exhausting. And, you know, just all the eye rolling and brow furrowing and just bottled up. It was just a lot and exhausting. It made me so tired. And so I just decided that I needed to stop because it just felt better and I wanted to be at peace and I wanted to rest. And thirdly, being angry was only the second step in the grief process. I was like, sis, you got a ways to go. Like, you got to get over this so we can get to the other side of this, because there has to be a better side to this. And I wanted to see it. So I was like, we gotta press on. We gotta move on. This is for the birds. So all in all, I really just wanted to share this piece of my grief journey, because as I was reflecting, trying to think about what I wanted to talk to you all about, this popped up and I realized how long I was in that phase. And I want you to be able to realize when you're sort of straggling in that phase and to get out of it, because we're not trying to, halt our grief journey. We're not trying to prolong it or anything. Like I said, we want to get to the thriving side of this because we deserve it. As always, I appreciate so much for you visiting my channel and watching my videos. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it will be of some help to you. Feel free to obviously watch any of the other videos on my channel. I'm sure they will help you feel less alone, guide you in some way, and help you get to that other side of grief where we are thriving and living our best lives, because we too deserve that. So please like this video, share it, subscribe to my channel, of course, so that I can always be here for you. And until then, I will see you in my next video. See ya.